My friends, welcome to my channel focusing FreeCAD. Today I want to work on this lantern slash bucket model, and I used per design to build this model in this exercise. As you can see, everything's under body. I also used part workbench to build the same model in an earlier trial. Between these two, I think if it was part workbench, I could have more flexibility, but per design kind of makes it easy to build this. So these are two different features from two workbenches. With that, let's go ahead and start working on it. So I am going to open a new file, Control N, and build this same model and let you all see how I build that. I want to start with the base sketch, which is pretty simple. I used an octagon, and I want to make it maybe like that, right? And I want to say I can apply a dimension right here. I'm going to say 50, all right, maybe 100. All right, and then I want to make a thickness, so there will be another one inside, and I want to say this is a 5 millimeter thick, so 95 will be, oh no, so I draw this, right, and then that 95 would be the radius. I want to make the diameter 95, so D would be 95. There, so that is my base sketch. And what I want to do, I want to take this sketch, actually rename it first, and then copy it over, say 4, 5, 6 times. So Control C, and then just I want to take this sketch, not the plane, and then paste it several times, right? And notice how everything starts with 1, but this is the main one. All right, so I can do this, take all of these inside the body, because we are working in part design, everything has to be under this body. And because this one starts with 1, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So my first sketch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I will need these two. Okay, now all of them are stacked over the same location. I want to spread them over vertically. The first one is at 0, right here under attachment offset, and the position C is 0. The second one, I want to make that, all right, I'll say 20, right? So if it is a 4 inches wide diameter bottom, I think 8 inches is kind of would be a good height. So I want to end up in 200. So this one will be 200 right there, and then I'll have to distribute these middle 4 sketches in between. And this one, so the third one, I'm going to say 50, maybe more than that, maybe I'll have to make it 75. And this one, I want to keep them close, so 100 maybe, and this one 150. All right, I think this is a little low, so let's make that 50. Too much. 35. Yeah, looks right. Should do. Actually, I want to make it closer than this. So, and then, so this is 40, and the next one is 75. That's 25 millimeter gap, and I want to make this 25 millimeter gap as well. Okay, maybe bring it down to. Okay, so I'm kind of like, let's work with this. So this is at 175, this is at 0, and I want to see how it plays out. I want to go now, take all of these and want to make a loft. And I'm going to say hit OK. So that's pretty simple, right? Now in there, so pick the middle two, these two, and then I want to make them larger in diameter. So 100, I want to make it 150, for example. And this one would be 145. So maybe I should have made it a formula. All right, maybe next time. And see how things changes. Right, let's do the same thing on this one too. 150 and 145. Okay, that looks like a flower vase or a lantern or a bucket. Now this one is more pronounced on its curve. To get that effect, I guess we'll have to make it a little bigger. Let's say 200 and 190. And this one will be the same. Maybe I should have gone with a spreadsheet value, so that way it would be easier to actually manipulate, but this seems fine. We are going there. So see how this is a little wide, and I think we can work on that. Hide this, make these two visible, and on this one I want to actually close this gap a little bit more. So maybe instead of 0, where is that? Here. I want to pull it up by 10. And this one, let's keep it there, see how that feels. Yes, I'm liking where it's going. Okay, and then now to, all right, I see there is something, so we'll have to address that. And to bring in this kind of like rotated effect in there, we will have to do the same thing that I just said, rotate. So let's do this. I want to take this one, so that's at 0 degree. The next one I want to make it a 10 degree. So that will kind of rotate something. Let's keep doing that for all of those. So this one will actually be 20. So we are rotating everything by 10 degrees compared to the previous one. So this is going to be 30, right? And then this is going to be 40. And we can actually keep like that, or we can make it 50. Didn't change much. I like the 0 better. Yeah, gives it some effect. All right, now I think that issue gone away. It was crossing here, like the wall was coming inside, wall coming outside. And let's make sure it's not doing now. So clipping plane, say what, maybe X. Right. Now we can see the thickness of that wall. I see it is not uniform thickness, but it's kind of thicker around at the belly, and then it goes a little thin here. Right here it is kind of like touching. So at this location the thickness is really small thickness, and that is because we had these sketches kind of like the distance between these two matters. And this is the one point where I think if it was part workbench, we could control this thickness more easily compared to part design. Because part design we are making the thickness in the same sketch. In part workbench we would have to draw two different sketches at each level, and then I could take this inner sketch, drop it down just a little bit. That would give me more or less uniform thickness. For here we cannot do that because we wanted to use the easy lofting in part design. So what I want to do instead, I want to play around with this value, see how that makes it, how that changed it. So if we take it above, I think that thickness becomes just a little bit better, right between here and there. It's pretty tough to see, but right there. So this between this line, that's what we are saying. Or maybe make it 135. That takes it upward just a little bit and kind of makes the thickness a little thicker, but that loses our the shape that we're looking for. Not too much, but maybe we make it 130 and then take this one, the one below, and bring it down just a little bit. That changes more drastically. Let's see where we are at. So the point is, placing these sketches in vertical direction changes how this shape kind of moves around. All right, I think I will settle on this for now, but you get the idea. Pick different sketches, maybe a hexagon, maybe a polygon with 9 sides, things like that, and then play around with this vertical height. You will get your own base or lantern or bucket or whatever you want to use it. And then now that we build the base body, I want to work on the thickness. On this thickness, let me hide this, and I want to go around, take the outer edge, because it's the new part design from FreeCAD 1 version. We can use partial sketches to this selection is kind of tricky. So what I want to do, I want to go around the sketch and take the outside edge and pad it so it's coming upward or downward. Maybe we need to make it reversed. Yes, and then make a thickness of 5 millimeter. Right, and that gives our base. If you want to make it like a raised base, just take this pad, that's the one, and then raise it for say 7 millimeter or 7.5 and make it reversed. Yeah, that gives you that edge at the bottom. So what we have is a lantern, and if we wanted to, we can go ahead and pick all these edges and make them kind of like a little smoother. So pick all the edges, right, all of them, and then make a fillet. We can go a little bit more than 1, so 5. Yes, it is. That is our base body. We can even think of a, so if it's a chocolate bucket, for any reason, we can make a lid for this, so it will be the same way like we did in here. But if we are doing that, I would like to do the filleting later on. So what I want to do, I want to go back to the loft, and this is the top sketch. Take that, just like we did at the bottom. We want to select the outer edges and pad it up by, actually, you know what, I'll have to do that as a separate body because we want that lid to be separated. So maybe I can make this fillet there. Control Z brings the fillet back, and now I want to open a new body. So this is the base body, and now this will be the lid. In here I want to get into the additive loft. Take this top sketch, copy that, and only copy this sketch because we already have the origin right there. So XY plane, we don't need that. And come to here, like, just because this lid is active, I can place it right in there, or maybe pull it in there. Cool. So now we have that sketch, and that sketch is sitting at 175 millimeter, and I can work on it a little bit more. So maybe try to make this 110 millimeter, so the lid kind of covers the outside, right? And now I want to select outside edges, and pad it up by, I'm going to say 5 millimeter is good enough. Yes, 5 millimeter. So we have the lid there, a little wide, and I want to make a groove inside. Not a groove, like, you know, kind of inner barrier that will make it easy to fit in. And that one I want to do it from the same sketch. So we are using this sketch over and over again. Let's make this, so make it a little closer, say 92.5. So we are bringing it 2.5 millimeter inside, so that way this raised portion will help. Actually, we'll have to make it another one inside, just like that. And this diameter would be, say, 90 or even 89. Yes, and then place it on here. Pretty cool. And now we can, I wish selecting this was easier, and then pad it. Which side it is? The other side. We want to pad it to the other side, and not that, maybe 3 millimeter. And we'll have to use it the taper angle, let's say 10. Which way should go? That is bringing in the wrong side, so -10. Yes, hopefully that will work. Okay, so that's kind of like inward, trying to fit it in with this base body. So far it looks good, but I cannot see the inside. So let's make this. Let's take this and right click and say toggle transparency, and see if there is any conflict in there. I think there are some conflict right at this height, and we could spend some more time actually rotating this outside sketch, this lower sketch, to make it the same profile. But let's not get crazy on that. Rather, I'll just go ahead and this make it like a 1.5 million. No, you know what I'll do? I will I will just bring it inside a little bit more. So take this base sketch, and where it says 89, I'll make that 87, and where it says 92, I'll make that 90. So that brings in a little inside, hoping that that doesn't conflict. It is conflicting just a little bit, so maybe we can take these outside edges. So that's a 2 millimeter thick, 3 millimeter thick, and then I can make a chamfer of 1 millimeter. So that's actually barely making it 1.5 millimeter thick. Maybe we should go in and make this 87 to 85. So that will make it a little thicker. All right, that should do it. That should actually do it. Let's take a look. I don't see any more conflict in there. Actually, it's pretty free, doing pretty good. It's so free that we can actually bring it down just a little bit more, maybe 4 millimeter. Too much, 3.5. That's about perfect. It is touching just a little bit, but I hope you didn't see that. And I'm gonna say that is my model. It's a bucket, it has a lid, and maybe you can just poke 2 holes at the end and then throw in some rope in there, so that will have a handle too. If you are trying to print a bucket for this occasion that's coming up by the end of this month, this is October 25th, and then I know that there is something in the next week. This is going to be a pretty good bucket for that. Anyway, my friends, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any question, comment, or suggestion on this model or any other model, please let me know in the comment section below. And thank you for watching. I will see you in one of my next videos then.